Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, brothers and sisters, with Sourat Al-Fajr. Al-Fajr is, a Fajr prayer like a dawn. So, in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started making swear or oath to Al-Fajr and another following very important times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرٍ هَلْ فِي ذَلِكَ قَسَمٌ لِذِي حِجْرٍ. So it's very, very important. We agreed before, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore by something, it must be great. So, and we have to think why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, precisely choose these objects to swear to. So Al-Fajr, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swear to Al-Fajr because it's very important ibadah, very important prayer, and it's like the pious people prayer, because when they just open their eyes, when all people are sleeping, like they are going to go to the in the cold time in the before Fajr to the masjid. So that's like going to be a mark for their good iman, for their strong iman. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said وَالشَّفْعِ وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, and these days, the best 10 days in the whole year. So it's like, as Al-Fajr is one of could be the greatest prayer, okay, in all of the day. So these 10 days is the best of the whole year. And after that, coming back to talk about prayer, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore to Ash-Shaf'i wal-Watr. We usually pray them by night. Okay, so وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرٍ, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرٍ. So and also by, that could be a reference to make tahajjud or make qiyamul layl. So it just about prayer. It could be like, mostly about, prayer. And if we think, we will find, common link between them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore to these great prayers or great times to tell you this is like, the pious people, prayers. Because if you love someone, you're just making sure, taking care of him, like before when you wake up and before you're sleeping. So that's, the true lover, that the true lover, like, mark, or the true lover, way of dealing. When you're just talking to him, when you love someone, you like to talk to him before you're sleeping, and you're making sure about him. You're taking care of him when you wake up, because he's too precious to you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swore to those great prayers to tell us it's very valuable. And after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala start telling us, like, stories about, before nation, like, Ad, and also the ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد. So it just stories about, past nations, like, the Egyptian nations, like, the pharaohs, and the civilization of, or the people of Ad. They maybe saying they were the giants. Okay, so there is, some says, like, they were giants or something. They were powerful, too powerful. So they had a great civilization, especially the Egyptian civilization is deep back to the history. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like, he punished them, and he for not having iman to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or disbelieving for the last day. This is not a fabric stories. So this is like, true and tangible, like proof of the outcome of not believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of not believing in the last day, of not believing that there will be coming back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you, like, if you don't have iman, so you maybe have the same punishment. If you don't believe me, so you can check out what happened with those people before. Understood? And after that, the surah goes to talk about how how is our life, and how it goes, and how our consideration should be. So we think like فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فقدر عليه رزقه. We think that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us like a small count of money, so a small type of risk, so that is He don't love us. He want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be aggressive with us. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu wa ta'ala عما يقولون علوا كبيرا. So we think like if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us money, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us because He He gave us money. If He don't like us, He won't give us. So the pharaohs, Qarun, Haman, they were powerful and they were extremely rich people, and they were all disbelievers. So that is we must stop thinking like that about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that true vision of what we have. So what you are making right now is going to be determine your position at the last day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about the last day, and يوم القيامة said خافضة رافعة. It just like getting people high rank and getting people down. So if you are a king, you may be nothing at the end of the day. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you what you are doing right now is reflecting in the other life, because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judging the people on the day of judgment, if and there will be Jannah and there will be Jahannam. That's it. There will be good deeds, there will be bad deeds. So hasanat and sayyat. So this is the judgment, how it's going to be like that. Nothing. It's nothing about family, nothing about position, nothing about education, nothing about social position. In Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling you, if He's going to torture you, it will be very, very painful. And no one going to be instead of you. And you will say, Ya laytani qaddamtu li hayati. Qaddamtu, not making, because in that day we are not making anything. So qaddamtu, it meant making, before. I wish that I made like a lot of good deeds before. Okay? So because what you're making right now in your life is sending forward to the day of judgment. So if you're not making good deeds right now, so you will regret in the day of judgment. At the empty time, you are not making anything. You will keep, biting and eating your fingers of regret because it's just empty. How about if it was, about filled with sayyat? And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided you to the right path and you did a lot of good deeds, and inshallah you will go to the Jahannam, how is gonna be? So the first thing, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you like sakina, and He stopped calling ya ayyatuha an-nafsul mutma'inna irji'i ila rabbiki radiyatan mardiyah fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you making you calm, giving you inner peace, talking angel was still supported you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fadkhuli fi ibadi wadkhuli jannati ends up with going to the Jannah, inshallah. So this Surat Al-Fajr is about a summary for the whole life, and the fake understanding for our narrow-minded understanding for this life. So this life is like a chance to get a higher rank in Jannah, to be more closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not to think like that about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we keep doing these things, we maybe have having the same fate for the before nation. And it's not far away. So this is tangible example. You can go the temples and check out with the Egyptian, what happened with the Egyptian people, and the Pharaoh's dead in the Red Sea, and Ad people. Okay, they carve in the mountains. And these things still right now still exist till now. So if you don't believe like that, so you can find out what's gonna happen. You can have the same fate. So this life is like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swearing to these uh, great times, great prayers to us, to tell us there is a chance and you can change your fate, you can change your destiny by becoming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also to tell us what happened if we are to be obedient people, which is like going to the Jannah, inshallah. That was for Surah Al-Fajr. Jazakumullah khairan for your understanding. See you inshallah in the next surah. Assalamu alaikum.